we're going to be discussing what RPE is and how to use it. Okay, so RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. It's a really good tool for gauging intensity of an exercise. Okay, so it's a scale of 1 to 10. You're typically going to be prescribed exercises that are somewhere between an RPE 5 to 10. Okay, an RPE 5 would mean that you have 5 reps left in the tank. An RPE 6 is 4 reps left in the tank. 7 is 3. 8 is 2. 9 is 1, and 10 is going to be an all-out maximum. If we're doing like a 5.5, that's you think you have 5, maybe 4 reps left in the tank. It would be the exact same for, let's say, an 8. If you were an 8.5, you think you have 1 to 2 reps left in the tank. Okay. Before we show you some demonstrations of what these look like, I just want to talk to you a little bit about people often tend to either undershoot or overshoot their RPEs, okay? We find that more commonly, people are undershooting their RPEs because they don't actually have a true gauge of what failure is, okay? So an RPE 6 is not an easy thing to do. In the grand scheme of things, it's not nearly as hard as an RPE 8. But an RPE 6 shouldn't be just quote unquote a very easy, you felt nothing. Okay, that's 4 reps left. If your life absolutely depended on it, you could not have grinded out reps no matter how hard you tried, no matter what circumstances. Okay, the only other time that this is going to be slightly different is if we're doing a single repetition. If you're doing sets of 1 repetition and you're going for closer to maximum reps, or you're doing some heavy exposures during something like a back squat or a bench press or a deadlift, an RPE 8 single, you would not have had 2 reps left in the tank. An RPE 8 single would be, you probably didn't even have another rep in the tank, or maybe you did, but an RPE 8 means that you had more weight in the tank. Okay, so for any other exercise besides those singles on the kind of bigger 3 movements, gauge just as I explained a moment ago. So now Sam's going to go and he's going to show you a couple examples of what an RPE 6 looks like first. So go ahead. Good. So that'd probably be about an RPE 6. You know, he probably had about 4 reps left in the tank, you know, maybe even 5 if we want to really kind of push the envelope. We're going to wait a second. We're going to take you to kind of what an RPE 8 looks like, and then we'll take you to an RPE 10 just so you can kind of see. So an RPE 10 is like, I mean, the weight was barely moving on the way up. You couldn't have done any more reps. You couldn't have done any more weight. It's an all-out maximum exertion, no matter what circumstances. The weight moves slowly. You could not have done a single more pound or a single more rep. Okay. So we're going to go to an RPE 8 here. So RPE 8s are quite uncomfortable. They're very challenging. They're not easy things to do, but they're rewarding. One, take deep. You can see how there's some struggle, but he still has many reps in the tank. We're going to call that a good RPE 8. I think if we absolutely had to, 2 more reps was very possible there. Okay, maybe that's an 8/8.5, but I think 2 reps was quite comfortable there.
10 for the 10.
Yeah, and as you guys get more familiar with using RPE, you'll get more accurate with your ratings. Let's go ahead. Push, finish that rep. Yeah, so there's no chance we were getting another rep. That would be a true RPE 10 on something like a dumbbell press, you know, any sort of other exercise, like I said, other than a single repetition on those big three.